A lot of people use the terms job development and job placement interchangeably, but to me there's an ocean of difference between them. I remember the first time I heard the term job development and I was pretty much enchanted, thinking, well, that's where you would look to find the unique brand of genius, the skill and ability of each person, and then you would go out and you would carve and shape and develop employment for the person. But I was so surprised early in the job as I was watching my colleagues approach it in a very different manner. They were opening up the newspaper. They were looking in the want ads. They were calling personnel managers and HR people at companies asking, so what kind of opportunities do you have? We are working with people who'd love an opportunity to do what you do. And I remember thinking, well, we're not really developing anything. We're looking at the opportunities that already exist in this community, and we're now taking people, many of whom have multiple barriers to employment, and we're simply putting them in direct competition with everyone else in the same community who are knocking on the same doors and applying for the same work, many of them bringing equal, often better qualifications, but who didn't necessarily bring the mix of barriers. And what I was told is, Denise, your job is to help these people get the competitive edge from everyone else. I would like to share with you one of the pillars of my work as a job developer, and it comes from the great Martin Luther King Jr., who once suggested that our questions in life are everything. That the questions we ask on a daily basis will shape our destiny as clearly as the skeleton shapes the body. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. There's so much to see and perceive in the world. It's the questions that we're asking that serve like the lens on the camera of the mind. They tell us what to shoot for, what to focus on. And what I was taught early on as a job developer is to ask this question. So what's the world looking for out there, and how do we somehow make these people look like that? What's the labor market demand? What are employers telling us they need? And how do we take these people coming into our office and somehow place them in those positions? That to me is not job development. That's called job placement. And it's not that job placement doesn't have a place, but let's call it by its real name. Early on, I had a feeling that there was another way to go about it, that perhaps there was a way to approach this endeavor being true to the term job development, rather than asking, so what are the opportunities that exist, and can these people fit into the position? What if we started on the other side of the equation and said, what is the skill, what is the ability of each person, and who's not hiring people to do that, who should? Perhaps we could develop, shape, and create opportunity based on the real needs and abilities of interest of the person that also make sense to the employer. That to me is the art of doing real job development. Another distinction that I would make between job development and job placement is how we treat job market information. I think a lot of people treat it like a wall rather than a window. So if you get a job order or you're talking to an employer and they express what they say they need, the qualifications that they're looking for, if people don't have individuals who fit that description, the feeling is, oh my God, I've hit a wall. Like there's nothing here this person can do, there's no way they're going to consider this person. And it's not that we would ignore the real needs of employers and what, the qualifications that they've specified, but it's just that you don't limit yourself there. Because I think there are a lot of opportunities within any place of business that the employers themselves perhaps have not yet perceived, and that there's a way of inquiring further as to how to shape or change or make something else out of a position given the abilities of a person. So I think we have to not act as order takers, but really as vocational consultants, totally respecting what the employer is asking for, but bringing the conversation further.